Okay, so I've just watched all the Material Matter films and Dark Matter, I think it's called. And yeah, it was really like I liked parts of it. There was one episode that I really didn't like, which is where she was going into the land of the dead and she was asking lots of people for information, and they were all saying no, and all the warning signs were for her to not go there and that she was going to die and not come back. It turned out that that was the right decision because that was the prophecy that she had sort of set the people free. Um, but it didn't make sense how she was willing to go to this place even without the boy, because technically the reason why she was able to set the people free was by opening up a portal to let them out, and the boy has the knife, and so without the knife, there's absolutely no way she could go there. So I think they should have done that episode better because it she made it seem the boy had tried to rescue this girl, and instead of saying thank you or anything, all she wanted to do was go to the land of the dead, and he didn't want to go, and she was willing to go without him. But that makes no sense if she doesn't have a knife to get out of that place. She should have been a little bit smarter. I thought that was a bit stupid to go somewhere where everyone's warning you not to be so willing to like almost die to get there, and yet to not have any kind of plan to get out. I mean, she needed the boy, and she didn't seem to really appreciate it. I liked the episodes. I liked the war. I liked, the authority was trying to claim that he was God, um, and but yeah, I did. There were some things that were a bit annoying because she didn't seem to have much of a plan throughout a lot of it. But it was good. I thought the relationship between that girl and the boy, Lyra, and the guy, because it felt really cheesy, corny, and unrealistic. Because throughout all the other episodes, they were clearly best friends, but they didn't seem to show love or romance or sometimes even respect. And so for it to suddenly turn into a full romance, not just a romance, but a romance that saves the world, I kind of understand how someone can save the world through love, but I feel like what I've been gone through with Martin, I feel like that kind of makes more sense because it's kind of it's a dark love, yeah, and it's one way, and it's not nice in any way. But I feel like it's very 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 powerful. But I didn't sense the love that they had was that powerful, and so therefore I don't see how like she could save the whole planet by taking the dark matter into the right direction through their love. I mean, their love just didn't seem like it worked. I felt like they quickly came up with an ending, and they kind of set up something that wasn't quite realistic. There was a scene at the end where there was someone in a box that was being sort of held by Azrael. Oh no, the authority, and I felt like that was a kind of copy of the nun. In the nun, um, there was a god at the end who's like a female, and you couldn't really tell what sex the person in the box or this one was, but it got a similar kind of vibe to that, as in someone's trying to be God and claim to be God, and they end up doing that by imprisoning someone who probably is God or the real power or whatever. But um, I felt like there'd be an interesting twist for series four, which is to to say that actually it wasn't the love between her and this boy that kind of saved it, but rather it was setting that person free, um, and that person recovering. Because I felt like the love between the girl and the boy didn't. It wasn't always. It was definitely there as a friendship, but it wasn't there as a sort of what you'd expect to be strong enough to set the dust in the right direction because it's going in the wrong direction. It also doesn't make sense how breaking the knife closed all the portals, because surely if that was the case, then surely they could have closed all the portals before, when the knife broke the first time. And he was able to fix the knife the first time. So why can't he just pick up the pieces and fix the knife the second time? I wouldn't have broken the knife if someone said that all the portals need to be closed. Um, and you have to destroy the knife so that they can close it, I would turn around and just say, actually, I've got the knife, so I will, spend the next few years trying to find all the portal doors and closing them personally. I would have kept the power of the knife. Um, so destroying that did seem a bit of an anticlimax, and almost like he didn't deserve the knife if he was going to break it so easily. Um, it was good. There were some really good parts on it. But yeah, as soon as it finished, I just felt really, really paralyzed, and haven't felt like this in I don't know when, can't remember when, but it was a few months ago at least. And I think it's thinking of Martin that made me maybe do this. It just I don't know. It just feels like my body is like 10 times heavier than it usually is. It'd be really interesting if I get myself on a weight where I find out how heavy I actually am when I go into these weird paralyzed stages. But I was saying 2 days ago that hasn't happened for a few months, and then I started watching loads of films that I felt did connect in different ways. Not massively in all of them, but just in certain small things. And I feel like I did these ones do seem to relate to me in bits, but I feel like I relate far more to I don't know that person in the box at the end rather than Lyra, because I felt like sometimes she did some stupid things, um, and the guy as well. I felt like he didn't always react in a way that he should have done. But yeah, it was interesting to watch.